Hey guys, Chris, Ironhead Garage. Well, we're back on the Model A, and it's tunnel ram time. So, I've been stripping her down. She's spilling her guts out in that pan there, getting all the antifreeze out of it so it don't make a mess. Took this header off. I had this wiring harness here for the headlights and the alternator. It was coming up above the top here. I never like wiring up on top of the engine. I like it all clean looking, so I rerouted it down the side here, put it on a clamp. Got a clamp there. I got a clamp there. This is my temperature sending unit. So it's a little short now. I'll have to clip it and solder a new leg on it. But this clears my Z-bar. I got the distributor out. I got the carb off. Upper rad hose. I'm waiting for this thing to drain out. Then I can pull the crossover tube off for the water pump. But yeah, coming along. Got all our parts there on the ground. Well, I got everything to do it now. I figured, well, it needs a tunnel ram. So, I'm going to let her keep puking her guts out down there. I still ain't chased old bones out of the cab yet. You don't want to seem to leave. So, I'm going to let this thing keep draining and get that intake manifold off. Alright guys, I'll be back. Well, I got that intake manifold off. And then actually, when I took the thermostat housing off, the darn bolt broke off. And I noticed this was cracked. So the ear broke off the thermostat housing, so that's a bummer. But I got an original one coming. That's pretty shiny, pretty polished. I could probably polish it up, make it look like my intake and my valve covers. But I'm gonna have to weld the nut to that broken stud there. And hopefully from welding it to heat, I'll be able to get that stud out of there. Then I can clean up this old original intake and sell it to somebody who needs it. So when I got the intake manifold off, I started spinning push rods just to check them. And number 6 cylinder, the intake had a wobble in it. So I had a bent push rod. So I ordered a whole set. I tore out all the old ones just to make sure. And I had 6 of them that were questionable. The balls wobbled a little bit on there. But this is the one that was bent. She's not bent real bad. It was still running good, but it's probably weakened now that it ain't straight no more. So I bought a set from Elgin's, or Elgin, I guess that's the way you say it. 3/8, the same as the ones that were in here. The stock length with the hardened balls on the end. So I got those all in. I put lithium grease on the top and the bottom where it rides in the lifter. And I got tape here, and I wrote what cylinders are on there. You can see 4, 6, 8. So I did the valve overlap method to adjust the valves. You only got to spin your engine over once to adjust all the valves, and spin it over one more time to check your work so you can sleep good at night. But it's called valve overlap. So it works on Dodge, Ford, Chevy, 4-cylinder, 8-cylinder. So as long as you know your firing order. So that's a BigBlock Chevrolet firing order. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. You guys know that. So you split it in half. So you take the second half of the firing order and you put it over here on this side on your board. So it says rock and then adjust. So what rock means, you want to come to the number 1 cylinder, turn the engine over with the ratchet on the crank, and you get the exhaust valve to open up and then to close. And then right when it starts to close, the intake valve will start to open. Well, now you're in the valve overlap. So then you go to your sister cylinder, number 6, which is back here. And then your lifters will both be down. Now you're going to take the lash out of it, just till you got no lash, rock them back and forth, and then tighten them up 3/4 of a turn. And it don't matter if you do the exhaust or intake. So after that, then you would go to number 8 cylinder and you rock it. That's the one back here, and you watch them valves. Then you can adjust 5, and so on. 4, and then you can adjust 7, 3, and then you can adjust 2. So I got a killer video on my playlist if you guys want to check it out. A lot of guys end up spinning the engine over, 20 times to do the old spin method of the push rods and then feel the tension on them. But this way, you only got to spin the engine over twice. And don't get confused, got to have a clear head doing it. That's why I got check marks. I rocked number 1, I adjusted 6, so I checked it off. And rocked number 8, checked off number 5 after I adjusted it, and so on. But it's a killer method. Check it out on my playlist if you guys want to check it out. A lot of guys never heard about it, but the guy's a pretty precision engine builder who does it. So pretty trustworthy dude. So I got them all adjusted. So now I can take these rags out of here and take the tape off, get that tunnel ram on finally. So that's a plus. Had to wait a little bit for them push rods. But the other day, I had my tools all out drying. My tool bag, I take that to the wrecking yard. But me and my buddy went out, and I got the spindles for the GMC. Yeah, I got parts for the old girl too. So I got both spindles, both calipers, and the rotors. I believe this rotor for the passenger side is grooved up a little bit, so I'll have to use that rotor when I get new bearings. But that was killer. Good to have parts for this thing. I can get back on that. And that same guy, he had a bunch of hot rods and stuff. Model A, he had a deck lid. Yeah, I got that deck lid from him. It's a fiberglass one, but it's got the fiberglass and structure inside. $100. So I got the deck lid and both spindles for $200. So I'll have to mount a plate on the inside here. My body's got pins to be able to put those pins into a plate in there, and I'll have to get a latch or build a latch for it. It's shaped real good. It's riding a little high now. It's up on them pins, but the radius is good. I think my quarter panels are bowed out just a little bit, and who knows how these old cars fit back in the day, if everything fit good. Kind of like my old 55 Chevy. They didn't have very good quality control back then, but I might be able to, these trim pieces here are bolted on. I might be able to loosen them up and then move that trim piece in a little bit. I'll see, or put a big ratchet strap around it and sucker in tight. Nah, I won't do that. Figure out something else. But yeah, looks pretty cool with the deck lid on it. Not sure when I'll get it all fastened on, but I need to fiberglass the inner structure to the outer structure because it's a little wiggly in there, but it fits good. So that was a good score. And parts for the old GMC. She's kind of trapped in there with all the junk around it. So I'm glad to have these push rods replaced. The valves all adjusted. I did put a mark on my harmonic balancer before I started spinning the engine, and we'll see when I stab the distributor in it if it's the same, if the timing's going to be right. It should be. But so I'm going to clean all this stuff out of here, all these rags I got in here, keep a socket from falling down in there. That would be bad news. But you guys check that video out on my playlist. Pretty interesting, and I think it's a hell of a system. All right, we'll get this manifold on here. All right, I got the tunnel ram on there, all torqued down with the ARP 12-point bolts. Yeah, man, it's coming together. So now I'm gonna put these valve covers on and these breathers. Got the baffles that go inside, and these have baffles in there, and I made me some gaskets. So we'll get them bolted onto the valve covers and get them new valve cover gaskets on there and get them installed. All right, it's coming together. All right, I got the valve covers all bolted on. Nice little studs with nuts and lock washers. Got my new gaskets on my breathers. Those did have lock washers in there, and then I did put Loctite on them. You don't want them nuts falling off inside the valve cover, but man, looking like a piece of jewelry on a rich man, except I ain't rich. Not even close, but she's coming together. So I got some Teflon tape, I got some chrome plugs for here. I don't have a thermostat housing yet. It might come today, tomorrow. And I got a chrome plug for here. And I got the NPT output piece here. And a new hose. So let's get some of that stuff on there. Maybe that carburetor. Alright guys. Alright, well I got that carb on there and the air cleaner. Man, she's wild looking or what? Yeah, pretty cool, I think. What do you think, Bones? He jumped out of the car and man, he's digging it too. But yeah, it looks pretty mean on there. I put a pressure gauge on the fuel rail. I got my thermostat sitting there waiting for my thermostat housing. I got my new crossover hose, whatever you call that. New clamps on there. Got my carb setting on there. I bought this spacer because on my 55, my linkage hit the top of the tunnel ram, same top, but this one don't. But I think I'll just leave it on there. It gives me another inch. Working on my throttle bracket, getting it on there, trying to get it adjusted right. I got the housing going through the firewall there, and this is a 24-inch cable housing, so I'm gonna have to cut it there, then feed the cable through. Also modifying the top of the gas pedal inside here. You can see that's where the cable comes through, and I cut the top of this off, and I'm going to drill a hole in that plate. It's got an old wrench for a foot pedal. Pretty trick little gas pedal though. So got the end. So this is the end that'll go on the gas pedal. So I'll drill a hole and put that pin through there. Then it's got some adjustment down there, and it's got some adjustment here, miles of adjustment. And then I'll cut this cable the right length after I cut the housing. But yeah, pretty cool. Got my plug in here where your temperature goes. So I got my temperature in the block. This one don't have an outlet for a heater. It has a boss there, but it ain't tapped or threaded. So I guess I could run my heater hose off of this if I get a heater in this someday. And then the pump's plugged here, so I can use that for my inlet. But yeah, that'll be my outlet to my heater core. If I get a heater in there one day. It gets cold up here in the mountains. But yeah, it's looking pretty slick. I'm digging it. She's looking pretty mean. I gotta get the fan back on. Shut this door. See what she looks like from the back. Yeah, pretty cool hot rod. Can't wait to drive this thing. I'm getting close. But let's get some more parts on here, get this cable all adjusted up and stuff. Alright. Figured I'd bring you guys down here and show you that view of it. Almost looks like she's chopped. But I went ahead and got that cable all done up. Got the housing cut. Got the cable cut for length. Put a little bit of grease in there. Got the springs on. So I got throttle now. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, works nice and smooth. A lot better than when I did my 55 for the first time, but so I got lots more to do. I did put the other pipe back on it. Kind of made her complete. But I got the distributor to do, the firing order. I got to put the fan back on. I need my thermostat housing cover so I can fill this thing all full of antifreeze. Got to do the fuel line. A little bit of wiring on the motor, but yeah, she's getting pretty close. So hopefully next video I can light her up, see what she sounds like. I know I got to adjust them floats because I believe those floats were pretty fat. So I'm going to lower them down just to even try to start it. But yeah, pretty cool. She's a cool old hot rod. Can't wait to drive it. Hopefully next time we'll light her up. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys are digging the old Model A. I sure am. I can't wait to drive it. She's got a cool look for sure. Ah, heck yeah, I'm digging it. Alright guys, Bones is digging it too. Alright guys, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Come back, watch next time. Take care.